Your time is up just like that. So I'm at home talking to my wife like I'm talking to you. No doctors around, no hospital. Bam, I'm gone. And you know it's not sleep. You know the difference between sleep and death. Death, you know that this is permanent.
What is it like to be on your deathbed? Today, we talked to C.T. Fletcher about his experience at the moment he thought that he may die. This is one of the most insightful stories I've heard from C.T. Fletcher, and I'm absolutely grateful that he shared it with us and with yourself. Today's video is sponsored by the summer sale at mulliganbrothers.com, where you can get the Inspire Change t-shirts, hardest work in the room vest, and everything else. Link down below. Buy one, get one free using code SALE, and the poster and journal are also heavily discounted. Let's dive into this amazing story with C.T. Fletcher.
How many times can you remember physically, there had to be a physical thought of, I am literally facing death? Because you went through a few situations in your life. Yeah, is there how many times would it be in your head where you can remember that, specific, a situation like that?
Okay, well, both flat lines, I had 5 flat lines altogether, but the 2 flat lines leading up to the heart transplant was the most memorable close encounters with death that I can remember, because the 3 previous to that happened during my surgery. They happened during our, so I'm under anesthesia. I didn't know anything about those 3 except what the doc told me about, so I didn't know that I had flatlined 3 times and they had to fight like hell to get me back. Each time he said, I don't know what the doctors, his own words, I don't know what the hell happened, CT. You flatline, man, everything's going great, and then you flatline, and we had to fight like hell to get you back. 3 times we had to do this. We thought you were gone, but thought you were doing okay, bang, you flatline again. Think you're doing flatline again. And we had to fight like hell. But I didn't know anything about it except what he told me. The other 2 times, I was wide awake and I knew everything. So those 2 times, it's quite different experience. I'm at home talking to my wife like I'm talking to you. No doctors around, no hospital. Bam, I'm gone. I'm thinking, we're in the middle of a conversation. People say that your life flashes before your eyes in a split second, just that fast when you're dying, and that is somewhat true. But it was not my life that flashed before my eyes. Is the things that I had not done that I wanted to do that flashed before my eyes. I'm thinking of a million things that I still wanted to do, and my time's up. I'm like, oh man, I still gotta do, time's up, oh no. And it was only the things that I had not done.
That's just giving me goosebumps. What were the things that came to your mind?
Oh man, I hadn't seen my son reach the potential that I wanted him to reach. I hadn't seen my grandkids, or some grandkids that I hadn't seen. They were, some of my daughters were pregnant at the time. I'm like, oh man, I want to see them grow up. I want to do this. So those were the immediate things that came to mind. I really wanted to see my son, his potential, reach his potential. I really wanted to see those grandkids that I hadn't seen. I just wanted, to stay around. I wanted to hug them. I wanted, those are the main things. I'm out of time. And it was just like you're not old enough to remember the old TV sets. You guys used to be big screens and flat screens and shit now, but back in the 50s and 60s, they had old TV sets. They were black and white. And when you turn them off, it would take them a while before the picture would dissipate. So it was like somebody unplugged me, took my plug out the wall, and my picture was just going like this, faster than it was, and a million things rushing. But I don't have time to do something. I gotta do my time. Your time is up just like that. This is the end. And it's not sleep. You're not about to drop off to sleep. You know the difference between sleep and death. And there's definitely a difference. It's not like you're dozing off. There's a finality with death. It's nothing like sleep. Sleep, I'm gonna pass out, I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm gonna wake up in a while. Death, that this is permanent.
I've heard you spoke about dying, and I'd love to, I don't know if your opinions changed on it or anything like that, but when you died, what was that experience like? And then what was your thoughts afterwards?
All right. So the actual physical, I tried to describe that as best as possible, like the old TV said, the actual physical act of dying, fading out, and the thoughts of, what I hadn't done and what I still wanted to accomplish are the things that really went through my mind at that moment. But what coming that close to death or actually experiencing death does is give you no longer a fear of death. You won't, if you come that close, so many people are afraid of dying. But this was, my wife told me it was only 3-4 minutes. And it felt like I had been asleep for 2 weeks. I was so it was the most peaceful, the most rest. Nothing on earth can compare to it. Nothing on earth compares to death. Death was the most restful, peaceful place that I have. Nothing else comes close to it. So no longer, the fear of death was gone after those experiences. I still want to be here. Because I still got shit I want to see done. I want to see my son reach his full potential. I want to see I got grandkids coming along now that are super athletes. I want to see them do that. I want to see them graduate. I want to be there when they graduate. Things like that. And I want to see Iron Addicts live on forever, man. So
this new mentality now, you wake up, and I remember you got a lot of shit for this. You did a run through the car park, and you fall over, you smash your face up really badly, and you got a lot of shit for it.
Yep.
And I remember there was an emotional address afterwards. Do you remember what you said about the new heart that you'd got, and that you had a perspective of, that woman didn't realize that this might be her last?
Absolutely. So, after I woke up, after the heart transplant, everything, I went into it totally, I was totally unafraid because, how could you not be? How could you not be worried? I was totally unworried because I turned everything over to God. I had no control in the situation whatsoever. I'm gonna let him worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it at all because it's not in my control. There's nothing I can do about it, and me worrying about something that's not in my control is not gonna improve the situation at all. I can worry about it as much as I want to, it's not gonna help it, not gonna help it at all. So if I just turn everything over to somebody else's hands and let them worry about it, then I'm fine. So I'm going into the operation and I'm not worried about the outcome whatsoever. If I come out of this thing and I'm still alive, then I'll be here to tell everybody that God did it, wasn't me. And if I don't, I ain't gonna know nothing about it anyway. They're gonna say, "Oh, I knew it." So,
And that mentality was, I think like I'm gonna live. Like I am gonna live now. Like that's.
Oh yeah. When I opened my eyes, I was convinced from the moment that I opened my eyes that God left me here for a reason, and that reason was to try to help as many people as possible. That's the and like I said, when I fell flat on my face, people said, "Oh, that's the craziest thing ever," and that why in the hell would you do that? But I never knew. I did die. The woman. By the way, I have a woman. Sorry, I know everybody knows that by now, but I see her often in my mind. I see her telling her husband, "Hey, honey, I see you get home from work." I see her making plans with her kids for the weekends. I see her picking up her grandkids. I see her doing all types of things. And I see her as never suspecting that would be her last moment, the last time she talked to her husband, last time she talked to her grandkids, last time she talked to her daughters or sons. She never suspected that. That's what I envision when I see her. So I owe it to her to live every moment of the rest of her life, because I'm not just living the rest of my life, I'm living the rest of her life because I have her heart. So I'm living the rest of her life for her. And I see it as my obligation, my duty to her to live it to the absolute fullest. So yeah, I felt like I could sprint across that parking lot, and I got this crazy my mind is still the same, my heart's different, but my mind is still crazy as So my mind said, take off. You can do it, CT. My mind gets me in a lot of trouble sometimes. My mind says, man, you can run across the park. So he got a new heart, Yeah, you've been dead a few times. Fuck it, go ahead, you can do it. And I took off 3 steps in. My mind said, fooled you. I got you to do it, you dumb son of a bitch. But I don't regret it.
Thank you to CT for sharing this with us. So many of us are not going to have that experience of being on our deathbed, to have that perspective that CT Fletcher just gave us. When we are on our deathbed, we will probably pass into the abyss. So use this experience from somebody who has been through an experience like this as knowledge that you will never receive. This is a lesson that is extremely special, so thank you to CT Fletcher. For me, I heard about this kind of concept when Les Brown did the speech about being on your deathbed, surrounded by all the ideas you had, the unachieved goals, what you could have been, and living and dying with that regret. And it's not something I want to do. That's why we work obsessively every single day. Today's video was sponsored by the end of summer sale at mulliganbrothers.com, where you can get the hardest worker in the room, LFG, Inspire Change t-shirts, buy one, get one free, using code SALE, link down in the website. Everything's discounted, site-wide, including the poster and the Not a Journal, links down below. And if you want to support us further, hit the join button where you can get exclusive content. Thank you for watching, guys, and remember to inspire change. I did want to say we have launched the podcast officially, an episode every Monday with bonus episodes throughout the week. The new podcast on Spotify and Apple. Thank you for listening and watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.